Yeah, man, this episode was only 20 minutes. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, 20 minutes.
So I only waited 20 minutes for that email also from Microsoft.
A real high-class bout. It's on.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Arsenal X, the Xbox podcast where we throw up the X. Because we're about to throw down. I am your host, Corey Deerigan. Alongside me, as always, is the wise Wisconsinite, Jesse Douglas.
How's it going, everyone?
And, of course, the streaming champion, Ray Apollo.
Hey, hi. I love Xbox.
I love Xbox. Welcome, Ray. I think this is your first official appearance on Arsenal
Yes,
ever.
This is the very first one ever, and I'm excited. You know why? Because I love Xbox.
You love Xbox. Hey, it makes sense. It would be bad if you didn't love Xbox and you just showed up and been like, "Oh, hey, hi guys."
Gotcha. Yeah.
I just came here to tell you that PC is better.
Nope.
Xbox is a platform now, guys. It's not just a box.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's true.
it's a way of life.
So, how's everyone doing? Ray, you full? You nice
Good.
and full? You ready to
I'm
podcast?
nice and full now. So the story behind that, because I'm gonna let everybody get on the inside joke. I said that. Well, I only took 20 minutes to get ready for the show tonight because I was hungry and I wanted to make some food, and so I did. And it only took 20 minutes. I promise. So
Only 20
don't.
minutes to make, and then 20 minutes to eat, and then 20 minutes to poop it out.
fair.
We didn't want him coming on the show all hangry.
I didn't want that either. I wanted to come on here and have a good time talking about Xbox after I ate. So, it's all good now. I'm very full.
Well, it's a good thing you're here because there's a lot of Xbox news to talk about. There's a lot of Xbox to talk about in general because, things happened this week. But anyways, we're going to get through this housekeeping real quick, and then we're going to talk about something that I've been wanting to talk about since I played it about, during that 20 minutes Ray was eating dinner. This is Arsenal X, the Xbox podcast, where every Sunday night live we bring you the latest news, rumors, and games in the world of Xbox. If you can't join us live, no big deal. You can head over to youtube.com/BossRushGames, BossRushGames.com, or podcast services on Wednesday mornings to watch or listen. Just search for Boss Rush Games or Arsenal X on your podcast feed. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please rate and review. It really helps us. It really helps us with discoverability, especially since, we brought it back and might be kind of buried in those Xbox podcasts. Actually, I found out that when you type in Arsenal X, it brings up a lot of soccer podcasts because, I didn't really think that through when we came up with the name. That's all right. Remember, if you watch us live, you can stay with us after the show for some multiplayer streams when we're not streaming so late. But it's all right, You can find all of our content on BossRushGames.com and subscribe to all of our shows, including Arsenal X, Nintendo Power Block, and the Boss Rush podcast at BossRushGames.com/subscribe. Now, Bleeding Edge had a beta this weekend, and I think we all played it. I think we had at least a little bit of it. So, what did everybody think of the Bleeding Edge beta? I was pleasantly surprised with it.
I love it, actually. I'm going to be very honest. I was a big Overwatch guy when Overwatch came out. I played a ton of Overwatch. I really like this. I love the pacing. I love the character styles and aesthetics. I love the attacks. I love that it's like team fight based. Like legitimately, you win when you're fighting as a team. If you're not, you lose. And it's, I just really liked it. I liked the characters, and I didn't feel like anything was super OP, which was awesome. Like that's usually you have a character that's like super OP at the start. I felt like everything worked, and if you got to know a character, it worked well. What'd you guys think?
Yeah, I felt the same way. I played about 3 matches before we started. I was going to try to play last night, but, something you might know a little bit about, Ray, the internet problems. It was good. I really enjoyed the combat. I played like three different characters. I played the the larger woman with the motorcycle wheels.
What's her name?
I don't know.
Buttercup.
Buttercup.
Don't judge me if I'm wrong about that, y'all, but she looks like a buttercup.
So like I really like the way that you can she has like this almost Roadhog style latch on the characters to pull them forward, and then you can use, and when you press I think it's B, you have like the Kratos style chains that you can whip around. I really found that to be really useful. And then I think one of her moves is like a some kind of thing that you stick in the ground to keep characters from leaving that small area, I think is what it was. Or some
I don't think
maybe that's not it. Maybe people
first.
were just standing there fighting each other. Maybe they just weren't leaving the area. I couldn't really figure out what it was, but I really like that the Roadhog style thing, pulling them in and then whipping them with the chainsaw blades and stuff. Like I thought that was really cool. And then I used the cover guy, Damon, I think his name is, the guy with the mask.
Damon.
He's
the
pretty cool.
Samurai was awesome. Yeah,
he's pretty cool. And then the last person I used was the Samoan looking dude.
Oh yeah, he's one of the ones I didn't use.
Yeah, he's. I only used him for one match though. I didn't really get a handle on what he was all about, but he looks cool. Like you said, I like the aesthetic of all the characters. I think they all look unique, and their powers seem unique and different and stuff. And it's kind of weird how they all look like they belong in different games, but somehow they all belong in the same game, type thing.
Right?
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Yeah,
it's really really cool. So.
I think I used Nidhogger the most. I really got to like that character. He does great damage.
Which one is he?
He's basically the robotic metal singer. He's got the he's so good. And his moves are just he does a lot of tank damage. Like he does a lot of damage to tanks, but he also has crowd control stuff, which I thought was really good. His special basically stuns everybody in place that gets stuck in his radius, and so teammates could just nail on him. It's amazing. I think the first 3 games I played, we just crushed everybody, but I feel like everybody was just getting used to the game. It was I somehow got with good folks, and we just like crushed people. It was awesome. But then it went down to like the last. It went down to like the minutes. We didn't get the full score, so we won by 1 point, and it was awesome. But it was also I like the battery control one versus the control points. I like that one way more. Fight for kills, as well as like turning and stuff, which I thought was awesome. So more of that, please. I want that game. That'll be a game that I like add to my rotation, I think.
Yeah, I really liked it. I wasn't really prepared to like it as much as I was, because I was like, okay, I'll probably play it for like 1 or 2 weeks to talk about it on the podcast when it comes out, and then move on to the next thing, or get stuck on something else. But I might actually play this for longer than a couple weeks. I like you said, it really does have an Overwatch vibe to it, that it has something unique and kind of special, and I like the melee aspect of it. Like I really think the melee stuff is strong. As someone who is not very good at shooting people, and someone who always found themselves playing as Lucio or Reinhardt in Overwatch, I do really like I like the melee in this game. It feels really good. So
I also like the hoverboards, because that's an amazing touch.
Yeah, it is. It's cool. Like when I was playing through the tutorial, and they're like it said press right on the D-pad to board up or whatever, and I was like, there's hoverboards in this game.
Yes.
Yeah.
I streamed a bit of it, and then when people saw that, they were like, "What? They're hoverboards? I'm in." Like that's all it took to sell people on this game. But
and you can bet the second that I got some in-game cash, the first thing I did was buy stuff to upgrade the look of my hoverboard, because that's all that matters.
I smell Fortnite battle passes for hoverboards in the future of this game.
I'm thinking can they even add crazier characters than the ones that they added like to the base game? That's going to be insane.
I could see them since it's a Microsoft IP now. I wonder if they could add like Microsoft characters to it. Like,
you bet your left butt cheek they will. At least so.
Yeah, like a crazy looking Master Chief.
Like, give me Fulgore from Killer Instinct. Oh my God!
Oh yeah, that's true. They've got all those guys that they can
we
totally dip in.
Hey Phil, I know you're listening. I appreciate you.
Give me a Battletoad, you coward.
Can we exactly?
Yeah,
can we get a
go.
Battletoad and Fulgore? And I would also love Master Chief. You know, just because.
Well, because just think about it. The Battletoads, you had those the hoverboard levels where you had to jump over stuff and all that. Anyway, so they basically can just have those boards from the game, the original games, and as their starter one.
This is confirmed exclusive for PC and Xbox, yeah?
Yeah. Because this was a project they put on hold because they couldn't find a buyer for it, and then which obviously Microsoft is allowing them to do this now. So,
could you imagine had this came out first before? Let's say for some reason it came out before Overwatch. Like they would have They
I don't know. Overwatch crushed everything that it was in his way, so I don't know about that.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, like when it came out, the only other thing that was similar to it was like Siege, and that was way too different compared to like having the whole.
I'm glad that this came out before Overwatch 2, so that's fine. Or at least it should come out before Overwatch 2.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't this coming out in like a month?
Yeah,
I hope so, because I want more of it like immediately.
I think it comes out March 14th, doesn't it?
I don't know. I think so.
Or is it the 28th?
I don't remember.
It comes out.
If only we had technology in front of us to tell us when this game was coming out.
Yeah,
I'm sitting in front of a bunch of books, so I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Bleeding Edge release date, real time, guys. March 24th, 2020. There we go.
Ooh, that's too far away.
Right.
Please bump up the release of the game just for me. All right, I appreciate it.
Right. How could I forget that?
Oh man!
Thank you, Microsoft, for the beautiful birthday present.
But no, seriously, I really did. I didn't know what to expect because I take that back. I had watched there's a YouTube channel that I can't remember the name of now, and I feel really bad because this stuff is really good. They had previews that they worked with Ninja Theory onto like for each character leading up to the beta, and that's what really got me excited for it. It's like, no, this game looks like my speed and my style, and it's because it's weird and fun. But I could also play it with my friends, and like we could get a group of us together and actually do pretty good. Yeah, which I was like, yes, please.
Yeah, like one night, one night after we record the podcast or something, we stream it and just have a good time with it, right? Like we could actually do some teamwork.
Yeah, because I honestly think I'd play this more than I did Overwatch. Not that I had anything bad or to say or didn't like Overwatch. I enjoyed it enough. It just at that time I was a Siege person, so I never, I was always playing Siege and getting good at that, and I wasn't playing Overwatch. So,
I mean, I played a lot
now
of
with this coming out, there's nothing that, but that that was like, but that was what a lot of people were playing though. Like for me, Siege was my game with the different characters that you pick with the different that was my game while everyone else was playing Overwatch. And so it was because I played both of them at the around when they came out, but I wasn't as into Overwatch, right? So I ended up sticking with Siege to get good at that instead of time between both of them at the same time and not getting good at either.
And that's what I like to do. I like to be
500 May player. Yeah, I was top 500 May player on PlayStation 4. It was awesome. I really liked Overwatch. I really liked that game.
I mean, I really liked Overwatch too. I played a lot of Overwatch. I played it when it came out, but then I really got into it like a year and a half after it came out. For like 6 months, and all I did was play Lucio and Reinhardt, and I got really good with Lucio and Reinhardt. But this game.
That's not one trick though. You were a 2-trick, and it's fine.
Yeah. No, I just I like to play the healer, right? And they changed Mercy so much since I played when it came out that I'm like, I need to play as someone else because I don't feel like learning the new Mercy.
Are actually really good, and they're all different enough that it's like, yeah, playing a healer and Bleeding Edge is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I really see. I liked how they did that.
Mirko, I believe her name is. The robot serpent that's in a zombie body, which was gross.
Yeah, I love that dude.
So
Kulev, I think his name is.
But I like the healers in this game. They're good.
Yeah. I like that Snake dude. He's like I played as him a little bit, and then like you, I like the metal dude that's got the guitar that he like turns into electricity and he throws it like Kratos's axes.
To be completely honest, because I don't know if you knew, if you play as that character, so he has those fire moves. He has the fire slide and he can breathe. Mm-hmm. When you enemy or enemies on fire and you hit them with your axe, you get life. And so as you're doing damage, you get life back in his guts.
Nice, yeah. Yeah, and you can actually do. I don't know if everyone does. Everyone have a strong and a weak attack?
Yes, I thought so.
Okay.
Everybody has strong and weak combos.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I noticed with him, if you hold the attack button, he'll start playing the guitar and then he shoots like electricity.
Yep. So he's got like a charged move.
Yeah.
So, but I want a bit. So Ninja Theory, props, because this is a good one.
Yeah, this is definitely
just wanted to snatch up, I think. So good job.
Yeah.
And I've been looking forward to this game honestly since they showed. I know a lot of people were not interested in it at first, but I could just tell that something about this was gonna be interesting and unique enough that I was just kind of sitting back and waiting. I'm like, okay, well, you're saying that now, but we'll see. We'll see when it comes out, because it just like something about it, like right away, like because I'm like again, I'm not really a fighting games person, but something about this, I knew it was gonna be something that people who like fighting games and people who don't would probably get into, kind of like, like Smash Brothers. Like a lot of people that don't really like fighting games will play that, and people who like fighting games also play that.
Yeah,
because it's it's got enough of a variety and a uniqueness to it that it doesn't really only speak to one core group of people, So
yeah. Anybody play anything else that they want to talk about before we get in some of this news? Because I'm going to tell you right now, I haven't. It was a long week.
Just some Minecraft.
Yeah, I've been playing Darksiders 3. Was playing Darksiders 3 on Xbox because Game Pass is great, by the way. I was playing it the other day. It crashed so hard my Xbox shut off.
Oh, jeez.
Like the whole Xbox, it said, I was like, whoa, wait. So I'm not playing Darksiders anymore.
I mean, yeah, I would.
That's why Ed was kind of disappointed with it, because he had a lot of issues with it.
Oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
I mean, I only played like 2 or 3 hours of it when it came out, but I didn't. I mean, it was kind of buggy, but I'm like, this is all right. I might go back to it, and then I never did. So.
No, it was. I was sorely disappointed that was what. Like I had no problems up until I got to one point, and then the game said, "You know what? I think I'm gonna die," and then it did.
Yeah,
so there was that, and I started Sea Salt, but then didn't get very far. So
okay,
nice.
Yeah.
I didn't play anything at Xbox. What?
Oh,
Ray's got a face.
Oh, sorry, I had another thing that I did because it's Xbox show. The iOS preview for xCloud is out finally, and so I've been playing Master Chief Collection on my iPhone and my iPad.
So 10,000 lucky people got to do that. I signed up for it. I'm still waiting on my email that says
congratulations. I thought everybody got in that signed up. I'm sorry.
No, I signed up. I signed up. No, I signed up, and people were posting like their email that said we'll contact you within a couple months or whatever. And then they got in like within a couple hours, right? And I'm like,
I got in within like I was like one of the first people to sign up. I think and within 10 minutes they were like, "Hey, go ahead and sign up." Go ahead and sign in. I was like,
I got it. I got the email. I'm like, okay, well, maybe after dinner I'll check it out. And then I still didn't get any. I didn't get it. Didn't get it. And then a couple days have gone by, and I'm like, didn't get it.
No.
So now I'm not gonna get it.
Well, you know, and you know what sucks is like when the insider stuff for Xbox was first starting out. The way it worked is the only way you could get into it was by being invited. Yeah. Which I'm in it, but I don't know that you can do that anymore.
No, I think you can just like basically opt to join now.
Yeah.
People listening, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you can just opt to join now. And I've been in a part of it since I bought my Xbox. Like bought my white Xbox VCR Xbox. Like that's how part of it. And but it's actually really good. I know, Jesse, you've been using it on Android for a while.
And it works. As long as I have a connection, it's good. It works good.
It's stable. I can't wait for them to add more games to it.
I can't wait for them to add me to it.
Well, see, and actually, all I've been doing is actually the streaming from my Xbox.
The console streaming.
Yeah, because that way you can literally play any game you own that you have on your Xbox.
It's not available for iOS yet. For those of you who listen.
Oh, that isn't.
No, it's literally only the Master Chief Collection.
xCloud and Master Chief Collection. That's it right now.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's a fine game to start with.
Great. Because I got 4 or 5 games right off jump. So
6 games.
Yeah, 7. ODST. You have
4, Reach, Halo CE, 2, and then 2.
Literally all the ones with numbers in it, except for 5.
Yeah. 3.
And it's 3. But no, I love it. Like I put it on my iPad finally last night, so I propped up the iPad on my knees and grabbed my controller and was playing Halo 4 on my iPad, and that game was a lot harder than I remember. So, yep.
Yeah, and just to people who are like that are maybe thinking about buying a clip to clip your phone or whatever onto the controller.
Tell me what you're about to say. I've been thinking about it.
Honestly, like I'll look and see what it was, but like I just went with one of the cheaper brands, and it works perfectly fine. You don't need to spend more than like $6 for one.
I'm about to say it's like $14.
Yeah, exactly.
There's ones on mine Amazon was only like $7 and $8.
Okay, all right. Well, I will look that up, and then I'll report back what I picked up.
Yeah. I got mine for like $4 something, like $5, I think.
I'll report back when I get in. I'll let you guys know.
5 years later.
I know. Oh man.
Yeah, so that's all I've actually been doing on Xbox, unless I remember something else later on.
Yeah.
I don't like to go up. No.
I don't think I played anything, to be honest with you. Not on Xbox anyway. I've been trying to figure out some things to do with the office because I'm tired of people looking at this chair with crap in it, and but if I turn my desk around, I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, nobody cares about my.
I've turned this office around 5 times, and you know it.
Yeah, so. I know you have. So I'll find. Life finds a way. So, anyways, we're gonna get into some of this news. Speaking of games you should be buying on your Xbox right now, The Division 2 is $3.
Is this still $3?
Yeah, it's $3 until the end of next weekend.
Everybody who can hear the sound of our voices, if you own an Xbox, go and buy this freaking game.
Yeah.
Go and buy it.
Yeah. I actually
hit us up on Twitter, and we'll try to maybe have a
I ended up getting the gold edition for Xbox when it was like $12 over Christmas, right? Or $17 or something.
I did that.
So, I mean, I again still want to go through and play it, but it's so tough to play by yourself that I'm just like, I don't want to like start it by myself and be like, oh, I'm just gonna get screwed over. But I really like I told Jesse, I really feel like the Division 2 is like one of the best third person shooters out there, like feeling wise, right? Like I think I think even Gears could take a little take some notes, you know.
Yeah,
I agree, and I feel like that is a game where they truly did take the feedback from the community and fix the game and make it better. Yeah. I like this game so much more than the Division 1. I mean, you will talk to some diehard Division fans who are like, "Oh, well, it's not as good as far as PvP and Dark Zone go," and I'm like, "That's fine, but that's not why I play the Division. I played the Division for the story and for just running around shooting garbage men. I mean, not garbage."
Garbage men. You murderer.
Yeah,
it feels good. It's easy to jump in and out. It's fun to play.
This poor man's just doing his job, and you're just shooting.
Well, this garbage man has a flamethrower, and he's a cleaner, and he's trying to murder me and my family. So
he has a family too, you know.
Anyway, I think that this game is absolutely worth it is absolutely worth $3. It was worth $40 if you ask me. Yeah. So, do yourself a favor if you like third-person shooters and pick this up because the expansion is out like in a few weeks, if not already out.
Yeah.
I think it's out.
How much is the expansion, by the way?
I think $30 is what I saw if you already own the game.
Yeah, and with that expansion too, like
new map.
If you didn't watch the thing that like Xbox did, they have a video where they went over a bunch of things, and that's one of the games they focus on. And they overhauled the a lot of the like RPG mechanics and stuff, and they're like fixed a whole bunch of stuff and improved a whole bunch of stuff. And yeah, I know Corey didn't really have it on here.
By the way, it is also $10 on PC, just so everybody knows.
And PlayStation also, if you want to play on that platform.
We just want to talk that. Anyway, so yeah, the Warlords of New York expansion pass is $30.
Okay.
I'm sure there's some sort of gold edition though, right?
If you want to buy the game and the Warlords for New York, so like it's the Warlords of New York edition, I think it's $32, which is hilarious if you didn't already have the game. So,
yeah,
fair. Yeah, fair. But yeah, I think the Division is definitely worth $3. You should definitely pick it up.
Yes, please.
Speaking of something that might also be worth $3, but is not $3.
It should.
Anthem is getting a long-term redesign. This article's from Game Informer. BioWare commits to the long-term redesign of Anthem. One of the biggest flops of 2019 was BioWare's living sci-fi game Anthem. While it received middling review scores based on the content available at launch, it quickly became apparent that the development team did not have sufficient long-term content or gameplay evolutions plans in place to sustain a dedicated community the way a living game needs to in the current landscape. Many Anthem players have felt abandoned by the development team's lack of meaningful new content in the year since its launch. Today, BioWare General Manager Casey Hudson announced plans for the future of Anthem. In a post on the BioWare blog, Hudson says the last year has seen the team focus on improving, quote, stability, performance, and general quality of life while delivering 3 seasons of new content and features. Where'd Jesse go? He left.
Said Skype crashed.
Oh no! Oh no! So you're seeing Ray split on the stream right now. It's fine. Where was I? Many players have been dissatisfied with not only the quantity of content released by BioWare, but the pace at which it has come to the game as well. In a post, Casey Hudson says he understands that players yearn for, quote, a more satisfying loot experience, better long-term progression, and to fulfill more fulfilling end game. There's a lot of other things that Game Informer has to say, but you guys get the gist of it. Anthem. Cool idea, didn't stick the landing.
I guess I really want to know, because I am one of those people who, as much as I gave Anthem crap for the way it launched, because it deserved it, by the way, it absolutely deserved all the crap that I gave it. I want to know if other people actually want to see this game come back. You know, everybody. I know that most people love an underdog story, but like, people want Anthem to come back and like give us what they promised us. I mean, I would hope so.
I mean, I wonder how many people even know like this is going on. First of all, you know, like how much of the player base even knows that like they're gonna
outside of people who are always paying attention to what's happening.
Yeah, you know, and also like I wonder if those people have already gotten their fill of the game. I wonder if they've moved on to other games, and you know how big is the hardcore Anthem base that's really waiting for this anyway. But also like, who does anybody even really want a living game from BioWare? People want I think people expect single player, kind of narrative driven RPGs, and like I think a lot of people want them to cut their losses and move on to Dragon Age. Or, you know, I know they've mentioned Mass Effect is in early development, and like
I wish they had never. I know. Just like, hey, Mass Effect, here it is, yeah. But no, they had the big old mouths.
I mean, they had the. To me, it's like they had the balls to abandon Mass Effect Andromeda's DLC, but they're not going to abandon Anthem.
Right, and I
you know,
I think, you know why I think that's the difference. There's a difference there is they spent so much more money on Anthem than they did on Mass Effect.
I'm sure they did, but like
we cannot let this investment go to waste.
But you're gonna abandon an IP that.
This is Strike 2. That was only Strike 1.
Well, and I also think that with this one, they know. I feel like they're more passionate people on this project for Anthem. Like they wanted to do something different, and it just I feel like there were too many cooks in the kitchen when it came to how that came out. Kind of like how Destiny 1 happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Too
ambitious.
Yeah. Oh, it was. You remember all the stuff they tell us about Anthem? This is one of the most ambitious games since Destiny 1, if you ask me. And so, when it came out and it didn't work at all, it was like, oh no, this is not good.
No, it's
So I will be very honest. Like, and if you go back through any of my content about Anthem, I raked Anthem over the coals, and it's because I had so many technical issues with the game. Like, you can even see me in denial during the beta where I'm like, oh yeah, they'll fix this. It's fine.
Yeah, no, I was the same.
It'll be okay. It'll work when the game comes out, and then the game comes out, and I had the exact same problems I did during the beta, and then it wouldn't even load for me, and that's when I snapped.
To be fair, I did turn it on before because like, you know, we did get started late, but like if we started earlier, we were going to stream a little bit of Anthem tonight because our YouTube series Pod and Play Anthem is going to be an episode, and we were going to do this a lot, like quote live episode of Pod and Play tonight, and I loaded up Anthem just to see like what was I doing when I stopped playing, and like I pop up this menu and it's like, oh, you have gifts, you've received gifts. I'm like, what are these gifts? And it's just like in-game credit to buy stuff, and I didn't even have enough credits to buy anything, so I'm just like,
dang. So, I mean, I will say, so I have booted it up since then. Like probably within the last 2 weeks, I've booted up Anthem to play it, and it works now. It absolutely works. Yeah. It's just that they need to give me a reason. Can they completely overhaul their story in an update? You know, because that also needed to happen.
It's gonna be one of those things where like if you're playing on PC, you're just gonna have to download a new ISO or a new file to launch it, right? Like a new launching file. Similar to I'm assuming what they did with Overwatch when they had some of those big patches. Like there were some things where like didn't you have to like reinstall the game to relaunch it or whatever?
I don't know. I think they were able to just push an update for that too. But I want Anthem to work.
Yeah.
I want it to be better. I want them to be able to go in and fix the things that shouldn't have been shipped broken in the first place, but also just give us a better game. Please, we just better game.
Like I think you guys are all with me. We're like,
I bought a whole ass Xbox One X for Anthem. Don't regret it, but I'm mad about it.
Like I'm sure you guys are with me. I don't ever want to see a game fail, but I also want to. Exactly. I also like, and I commend EA for like actually, for once, kind of like sticking with something that's not going to, like, you know, earn them money, right? This is going to lose them money. But at the same time, like, a lot of that staff that launched the game is gone, like the team leads, and, like, you know, I kind of want them to see, hey, maybe we should cut our losses and start this new Mass Effect that we already said was in development or something. You know,
I hope it works.
Yeah, no, I do too.
There's a chance that it doesn't work.
Yeah. Oh boy, could you imagine?
Yeah, actually, I can.
No, I mean, like, could you like the best possible outcome for No Man's Sky happened for them, right? Like, the game is. I could
Same with Thieves. Yeah,
I could totally see this just going the other way for Anthem. Like,
sadly,
really, but, like, you know, like
because they have the best flying mechanics in video games.
Oh yeah,
I will say that.
Of course.
They have the best flying mechanics outside of its combat in video games. Yeah. Straight up.
And I would go as far to say that their shooting mechanics are, you know, right up there, you know, pretty close to what Destiny has, and
I'll give you that. They're pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, they're, you know, like, it feels like when you're shooting, you know, the enemies, like, it actually is registering, and, you know, there's no, like, you know, like, any kind of issues like that sometimes you hear about in games. There's, you know, like, yeah, like, most of the mechanics work really well. It's just they've got to figure out a way to, you know, like, make you want to interact with that world more, because, like, I mean, that, like, honestly, I think it's one of the most beautiful looking designed worlds that I've seen in a game in a long time. It's just there's nothing there for you to really want to explore it. You're just flying through it and just kind of ignoring it most of the time.
Plus,
and if they would do something, you know, similar to, like, what, you know, and I mean, I don't know how they would do this for sure, but like look at Breath of the Wild. Like, that game, honestly, Breath of the Wild is, like, probably the perfect example of a game that came up with reasons for you to want to look everywhere, you know, want to see every bit of the world that they've given you. And, you know, I think they need to do that, like, have like different kinds of, like, cool, unique, like, things that can only be found by searching for it. But there's no, like, particular place that it exists. Like, maybe they could have it like a static spawning thing where there's, like, there's a specific area you can search in, but it's not always going to be in the same exact place. It might be, like, 2 feet, you know, to the left or the right of where it normally, or where someone may find it, or, you know, just do something to get you to want to really interact. Like, you know, like, in the beginning, finding the chests in the world and stuff like that was fine enough when you're doing free play, but they need to give you more, you know, more incentives to want to kind of search around and, you know, go in these, like, caves that are just, like, or, like, areas that are just kind of indentations and rock formations or whatever that have, like, holes down underground or whatever that don't necessarily lead anywhere, but you could have, like, chests or something at the end of them.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree. There were parts when I was playing the game when it worked back on PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I wanted from the world. I wanted to be able to fly around and find cool stuff, but there was no cool stuff.
Plus,
all you would find is, like, lore bites, and I'm like, no, give me stuff.
Plus, like what we were talking about yesterday on Boss Rush, like, right, like, the verticality offers some, like, you could do some really unique puzzles or unique, you know, like a Destiny has raid layers, right? Like, we were talking about how, like, in the world you could go in with a team of 3 and really do some really unique things in some sort of cavern and solve puzzles where one of you's got to fly up here and do something and the other people's got to dive below or whatever. Like, that verticality offers some unique design choices that you can make that Destiny and the Division just don't offer. So, I mean, they can do something like that too.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's kind of a shame that there really is only one like even just the wildlife in the game is kind of lacking. Like there's really only the one flying creature that you can attack in the world, those those dragon like looking things or whatever. Like that's the thing, is like with the ability to fly and the the verticality of the game, they should be like kind of like I said on Boss Rush, that like if they make bosses that can fly as well, and you guys gotta fly as a team and kind of like almost take them on in the air while you're moving around, and like I said in Boss Rush, they could have like a whole area where it's like a major boss, and the whole idea is you're flying around this new area and it gets destroyed by the end of you beating the boss because of you guys flying around and just completely annihilating a place, and then that area could be part of the story, and then that area stays damaged like that permanently, and you see all the war damage to everything from that battle, and it stay that way, and it adds like a unique then area that's changed now because of what happened. Like I mean, they could come up with just elaborate things like that, where they can kind of like Fortnite and stuff was doing with the black holes, and you have where Blackout, where there was the flood that affected how the map looked, and they can do stuff like that. You're talking
about the thing that they tried to do, right? They tried to do that storm, and I guess for the people who are playing it still, then I guess something happened, but nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it's
significant
still
like you're talking about.
Well, they've reset it like 3 times, so like whatever was supposed to happen afterwards never happened because they didn't follow through on the roadmap, so they just kind of set this cataclysm out like 2 or 3 more times. And like I went into Fort Tarsus today, right, and it's all decorated for Christmas and stuff, but I'm like, it's February, guys.
Yeah, I thought they said they extended it, I think, through February, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? I mean, we judge people who leave their Christmas trees up longer than January 15th. So yeah.
I'm guessing what happened is they're like working hard on trying to like figure other stuff out, and they're like, well, we'll just leave it for right now because we're trying to work on like the whatever this rebuilding stuff is that they're trying to work on, and they probably just sort of like put like all their manpower into trying to get stuff going or something. Like I'm guessing there's some kind of reason for it that we just aren't aware of, but it would be kind of weird to have it going that long.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I'm curious to know what people who are listening to us watching, like, do you want more Anthem? Or you give it a second or third chance?
Yeah, I mean, look, whenever this overhaul comes out, and I said, we're probably going to stream it at some point in the next week or so. But like, I want to see what this overhaul does, and like, I think this overhaul is like, okay, did we do the right thing? And if not, then we put the nail in the coffin and just end it. But all right, we're going to move on. This story comes from IGN. Speaking of games that people do like, Control. Remedy devs hint at potential further content. Quote, "This is just the start." Remedy Entertainment has hinted at a possibility of more projects set in the world of Control, saying that, quote, "This is just the start of its work in the weird, wild setting." Speaking to IGN at DICE 2020, Remedy Communications Director Thomas Puha, is that how you say that? Puha? Sure. Addressed whether the development team
got you all in check.
Wanted to create projects set in the world of Control now that the game has been released. Quote, "A lot of our recent work was about getting Remedy into position where we can create Control, and we can hopefully keep making more Control. So yeah, absolutely. And especially with all the love we're getting, there are so many things we know we can do and explore. So I say that this is just the start." The game's executive producer, Juha Venio, continued, There is no one in the current Control team who wants out. There are actually people who want in. So we have a positive problem. So this goes on to talk about the expansions that are coming. So, yeah, possibility we're getting more Control, whether it's expansions or a second game. I think that's pretty all right with me.
Yeah, I'm all for it. No,
I haven't finished Control yet, but god dang, do I love that. Yes, more of it, please.
Yeah.
Where are you guys? Or did you finish it, Corey, or no?
No, it's on my list. It's on my list. It's gonna, like, I need to finish Rise of the Tomb Raider first. It's part of the backlog challenge for me. Like, Rise of the Tomb Raider and then Control is up afterwards, because I know we want to do something with Control as our first kind of video game book club podcast thing that we have been talking about doing, and Control is going to be that first game. So, I wanted to finish Gears, which we did, and I wanted to plow through Hellblade, which I did, and then I wanted to finish Rise of the Tomb Raider, which I'm doing right now. So, Control is the next game on the list. So, I might actually put, depending on what we're doing with the video game book club, I might put Rise of the Tomb Raider back on the shelf until Control is finished. But we'll see. I do like Control, though. I like the aesthetic of how, the building kind of does the weird transformation stuff within the building, and then you go back to the normal building. It's kind of boring offices and stuff. But yeah, I like Control. I would. Remedy is always a company that it's not that I don't like their games. I just never really could get into them. Like Alan Wake, I never could really get into. Quantum Break was cool, but I never finished it. I don't know. I just wanted to play other things, and
I love Quantum Break until the last boss fight.
That's what I keep hearing. I hear that last.
Yeah,
boss
that was it. Was hard.
Finish it.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you, I had a blast with Quantum Break even until I got to that last boss fight. It took me like 3 hours to do. I said, you know what? Everything else I did up until now has been ruined thanks to this.
Yeah,
like you at the end. Oh, yeah, this is a video game, by the way. So here you go. But I see what you're saying. I kind of got into Alan Wake. Didn't really play all of those. I really liked Quantum Break because it was different. They did the TV show thing that I liked. Plus, it had Iceman, so why not?
Yeah.
And then, so they have a certain style. Like, we all know their style, and I like it. Like, it's a nice style. So it's just more of stuff from them is a good side. That means that people are buying it, people are liking it. So hopefully they keep something they like to do.
Yeah.
Like the like for me, like Control, like definitely gives me Twin Peaks vibes, like of the TV show. Like it's just that really weird like reality, but like you like you're not, sometimes you're not sure whether you're in reality or in like some kind of weird dimension or whatever, because it's everything seems normal and real, but at the same time it doesn't. I don't know how to explain it. It just, it's like, and just the objects of power stuff that they do in that game in general is just so amazing.
So I'll tell you right now, I wish that I had. So what I decided to do, and I know it's stingy, is I decided to play Control offline because like I was streaming it, but then I'm like, there's stuff that I'm like, I really just want to pay attention to this game when I'm playing it. So I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not playing this on stream no more because I want this. Yeah. So that's why it's taking me so long. And it's like, I love that game. I love the environment. Like when you first go to the, and this isn't a spoiler, I don't think, for anybody. When you first, I'm not even gonna say it. When you go to that other place for the first time, just if you know what I'm talking about, it blew my mind. I was like, excuse me, what? How is this possible?
Yeah.
It's like, oh. And then it becomes like a recurring theme throughout the game, which I really like. So,
yeah. You're talking about like where you have to pull the light bulb. Uh-huh. Yeah. I love how it's like you got to do it 3 times.
Yeah. And it's like, if you don't pay attention to it, like it literally just tells you. You're like, oh, it's a video game. I shouldn't have to do that. But then you do, and something happens, and it's like, oh, okay.
Whoa. Yeah. But yeah, more Control. I'm glad that Remedy has kind of found something has stuck for them, and they're excited for. So yeah. Speaking of things that people might also be excited for, maybe, possibly. Marvel's Avengers is getting a bunch of special editions, including one that costs $200.
I hate it, but I love it.
Dude, look, I want this Captain America statue, but I don't want it at the same time.
So, all right, I'm gonna be very honest about Marvel's Avengers. I want this game really bad. I really do, but it's also like I want it to be a good game first.
Yeah.
I'm worried that it's not gonna be a good game, but I mean, there's so many talented devs on it that I'm like, well, it should be, right? Mm-hmm. But then you think about Star Wars and Battlefront and how that's turned out at first, and they had to fix that. And I'm like, Disney properties, they probably like overthink it and then make it weird. And I'm like, but no, I just want want you to make the game good.
The only thing is, like, I think, no offense to Star Wars or anything, but I think Marvel cares more about their properties in video game form than Lucasfilm seems to have in the last few.
I mean, yeah, but they're both Disney now. So no,
I know, but but their gaming divisions are still separate. So
yeah, so I hope so.
Yeah,
this game because we all saw it, and I feel like I was one of the only people who was excited about it when we first saw the unveiling for it. Everybody was like, but I was like, yeah, more adventures because I just want more adventures.
But I think everybody wanted like
they're ugly.
I just think everybody wanted the movie characters, and that's not what this is. And like I think that's why people were disappointed.
It was one of those things where I grew up without these movie people. I don't need these movie people to enjoy the Avengers. Does anybody else watch Earth Mightiest Heroes? Excuse me, come on.
And those movie people are dead anyways. They no longer exist because aren't they?
Well, spoilers, dude.
Rebooting the franchise.
We all know Thanos wins. Most of them are dead. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I didn't care what they look like. I just want more Avengers stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, like, I was excited when I saw the gameplay, but I mean, objectively looking at it, it did look a little rough. Yeah. And so I'm glad that they delayed the game.
But I mean, like, when we saw it, it was at that point it was almost a year out, right? I mean,
I think so. Yeah.
Now it's still like 6 or 7 months out. So like,
and normally you have the opposite issue where it looks better than what it looks better when you see it the first time than what it actually looks like when it comes out.
So what I want from this game is they've kind of talked about how you'll be able to do different missions with your friends and with different costumes, and I really do kind of want it to be like Avengers Destiny. Like I kind of want that. That's
kind of what they're pitching it right? Like, I mean, there's like a single player campaign with a lot of like co-op side stuff that you can go do, right? I mean,
if they manage to make that work, it'll be like almost a perfect game.
Yeah, I mean, if they especially with like so many different heroes that you're going to be able to choose from, like if they nail all those different gameplay mechanics, like, I mean, even if they're not perfect, right? If the flying of Iron Man feels like Anthem, if throwing Thor's hammer feels like God of War, like if playing as Black,
that's it. If they nail those two things,
yeah, no. If they nail Black Widow feeling like Lara in the Tomb Raider games, right? Like I feel like they have the building blocks there, right? And then they just kind of keep refining and do some updates and stuff, right? Like balancing updates or whatever. Like this game has the pieces for it to succeed, right? I hope that they come together, even if they're a little rough at the beginning, like I hope they do come together and people are like, oh man, there's really something here, right?
You mean like the Avengers?
Yeah. If they assemble the pieces.
I don't know, and I really do want them to add a bunch of like obscure Avengers that we haven't seen. Like I don't just want the movie Avengers, which we basically got, but like they added Kamala Khan, like, and then we saw I don't think it was Pym. Was it Pym or was it Scott Lang? I don't remember. But add a bunch of other like random Avengers, like
Moon Knight.
Like Moon Knight would be awesome. Like White Tiger would be awesome. Just add a bunch of different people. If we, I'm gonna be selfish and ask for Black Panther immediately though. So please do that. I'd appreciate it.
Ray, you're allowed to be selfish.
Give us Silver Surfer to you colors.
Oh my God, Silver Surfer would be amazing, Jesse. God, that'd be so fun. So just like,
give me Wolverine.
Yeah, $200 though.
Zipping around through an open world on your silver surfboard.
But $200 though. I love video games as much as the next guy. Sometimes more than the next guy. But I ain't about to spend $200 on a collecting edition. That's not,
dude. I was talking to the guys from the Diggity podcast.
If anything, you look at this. The statue there. The statue looks lit, but I would buy it for the Stark blueprint.
I was talking to the Diggity podcast guys. I'm like, that statue it comes with looks like it'll be on clearance at GameStop in about 3 weeks.
It could be. It looks like something they sell apart in their display stuff right now.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like that's what it looks like.
I mean, that Hulk bobblehead looks bad.
Yeah, dude, it looks terrible. I mean, that looks like it came out of the I don't know. It looks like those like cheap knockoff toys that you see, like people post all the time, like the fake Avengers toys where it's like Barney, Wolverine, Hulk,
that looks like. That looks like. Y'all remember Dexter's Laboratory?
Yeah.
It was the Incredible Bonk or something. I don't remember what it was. That's what that looks like.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yes,
I want this game. I want to look up, but no, that's not happening.
Yeah, even the collector's editions that I like absolutely wanted with a passion, I haven't got just because it's the thing is it's I don't need more stuff sitting around.
I've been trying to get rid of stuff
because I really wanted the big statue from Titanfall, the collector's Titanfall.
Yes, sometimes I still want that. So if any of y'all got the hookup on one of those, let me know.
Yeah.
Like I love that. I think that was the first collector's edition that I legitimately wanted, but I was too poor to buy. And if I had the money to buy it at the time, I probably would have bought it.
Instead, I got the Xbox One controller of Titanfall controller.
Fair enough. I mean, the only collector's edition that I've ever bought was for Deus Ex, the newest one, and it was on sale for like $30.
Yeah.
So
they have that Titanfall statue, the one from Titanfall 2, I think. At my used game store, not GameStop. It's a different one. It's called the Exchange, and it's like $30.
Really?
Statue. Yeah, the statue.
Holy
itself
crap!
is like
I would have bought it.
It'll probably cost you more money to ship it to me than it would be to buy it. I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah, I know because my local retro store had it too, and they were still selling it for like $175 or something like that.
Yeah, well,
it goes for a lot of money. I would dude, that's a steal. $30.
Well, like maybe if I go back and get it, maybe I'll just go get it and then sell it for more money than I bought it for.
Oh God, yeah, I'm looking at one on eBay right now. $130.
Yeah, they're still holding its.
That's sick.
Yeah,
well,
it's.
Maybe I missed. I missed. Oh no!
You should go back and look now.
I know. Yeah. I feel like I should go back and pick it up.
Flip it.
Yeah, because those people
you want
don't
that
know
statue?
what they have.
$110.
You know what? I'll give you 40 for it. It's like we're only asking 30. I'll give you 40 for it.
Because it lights up and everything. So I want that.
I know it's awesome.
All right, our last story, and probably the conversation we're going to have. I know this is a PlayStation story, but it's something that I think we should talk about in the terms of what the Xbox Series X is going to sell for. Sony reportedly battling to keep PlayStation 5 price down. This comes from The Verge. Sony is struggling to land on a price for its upcoming PlayStation 5 console, according to a new report by Bloomberg, with component shortages potentially pushing the MSRP beyond that of the PS4. The bill of materials is said to be around $450 right now, compared to the estimate of $381 for the PS4, which sold at $399 upon release. Unless Sony is willing to sell the PS5 at a loss, $450 build cost would make a new console significantly more expensive than Sony's current PS4 Pro, which is now $399. So it kind of goes into what's going into the next console, but I wanted to kind of have the conversation like this is supposed to be less powerful supposedly than the Series X rumored wise, right? So it looks like this box might be $500, which means maybe the Xbox Series X could be $500. But I heard this on a podcast, so I'm not going to take total credit for it, but I think it's an interesting conversation. Do you think that this is a chance that Microsoft could sell the console at a loss because they're making money off of Game Pass and other games off of PC, right? Because they have that supplemental income from those other revenue streams where PlayStation kind of does not.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is I think Xbox has to get, if they want to get people on the Xbox, they they would have to sell it cheaper and kind of like do the whole Xbox 360 or not the Xbox One and the Xbox or the PS4 whole thing where the PS4 was like almost $100 cheaper or whatever. But do that like on purpose.
Yeah.
like purposely make it way cheaper than what the PS5 is going to be.
Yeah,
and try to get the parents who are coming in to buy their kids and stuff like that. Consoles will be like, I'm going to get the one that's cheaper and get more people in the, but because they don't really have to, like you said, worry about money as much. It's Microsoft too.
So, yes and no. I do think that they could come in and undercut Sony if that happens. If Sony gives a chance, because they've already said that they might wait until after they announce the price anyway. But they could come and just be taking a loss for a while, because of their subscribers. But I don't think they have to, and it's because of the way they've already set themselves up. I could see Microsoft saying no. The X is going to cost what, $549.99, because it is the most powerful, and it costs money to have the best thing, and we know that it's the best thing. But guess what? The Xbox One X, which can also play all of the new Xbox Series X games, is now $100. And they cut, and I would probably say about maybe $250, and everything else takes a price cut too. So they have a very low entry point for a more powerful Xbox, because think about it, end of the generation, people are buying old consoles anyway.
Yeah,
no more going to buy these new consoles right away.
Right.
So why not just bring in that lower price point, but it also gets those new people in with the new games and the subscription service. So they're making, and then we're gonna go for the most money, so more money on top of that, so they don't have to come in at the price point.
Before they even announced, like, they probably won't have any exclusives for the first 12 or 18 months for Series X at least, right? Before that they even said that, I was telling Ed, and Ed, he didn't believe me, but I said what if they just use the Xbox One X as a Trojan horse to get people into the Xbox Series, the next Xbox?
That's exactly what they're gonna do.
Because like the Xbox, like, okay, maybe games won't work on like, the S or the original Xbox, but like if you have an Xbox One X, you're already into the next gen. As like
exactly, you already have it. They're gonna be like, by the way, it's right there. It's in your living if you already have an Xbox One X.
Yeah,
and I truly think that that'll be Microsoft's way of saying, and also it's for the folks who bought the Xbox One X, and saying, hey, thank you, because we didn't want to leave you behind. So so that's why I don't think that they're going to even worry about coming in at least right away. And it's because the Xbox One X is already a very powerful machine, and they can still boast that. And when people were like deciding to upgrade from their 360 or their PS3, they'd be like, "Yep, nope, this Xbox is literally the best thing you can buy because of the games that you can play on it now. The new, like, imagine if you were a parent, which you guys are, and you walked into a store and they're like, "Hey, you can buy this new Xbox, and it'll just play, it'll play these games, or you can buy this slightly older Xbox, still play all the current new games, and use all the controllers. And when you decide to upgrade, you can take all the stuff from that box and use it on this new box, and it's cheaper. It just looks a little worse.
And it plays 4K Blu-ray and all that stuff.
What? Like, this is a great deal. I know.
And guess what? It's only $100.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't that be crazy if they just dropped it to $100?
I've seen some bundles on the Xbox One X that are like $230, like now.
Yeah.
So
with like 3 games and an extra controller.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which what if this holiday they drop it to $99.99?
The all digital S right now. They might be doing this. I saw a deal for the all digital S for $99.
See, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I think that it's very possible they come out and they're confident in the price that they're going to use for the Series X because it doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Right. and the X is still a pretty powerful console,
Yes.
Yeah.
So the only thing I'm hoping is that they don't come out and they're like, "Hey, we won the most powerful system, so you have to pay this most money. It is $600." I really hope it's not $600.
Yeah. I don't think
it's going to be any more than $5.
Please be $499. Like $499 for me is like sweet spot.
I think everybody learned the lesson, especially Sony, the hard way when the PlayStation 3 came out and they said it's $600, right? Like I think people who want to pay more than $500 for a console are going to go build a PC. Like I honestly just
at that point, you might. I'm going to be honest. At that point, you should, which is save a little bit more money and build a nicer PC straight up. So
because it's only like what, 800. It would be about $800 to build a PC that's about as good as it.
Yeah,
for. So like I mean, at that point, like I honestly, if anything, I still think that it's going to be around $5. But I could see them doing $450 because even if it's only $50 cheaper than the PS, 5. That's still
I just think this is an interesting time because it really does. We've now gotten to the point where the technology is as good and as expensive as it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and so that it is now. Having a console is where you want the best specs is harder and more difficult to make justifiable. Buying a PlayStation, a PC, and a Nintendo. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but I'm hoping $500 is the sweet spot for both of them, the PlayStation and the Xbox.
Yeah. And like even like if they do this with the Xbox One X, which I'm pretty confident that they are, right? Like if I want to play Horizon 2, I can wait to get the next Xbox so I can get the PlayStation, right? Like
exactly,
because like I
options are so good,
right? Like I mean, if PlayStation launches with Horizon 2, which for some reason there's rumors swirling around, they probably will.
Yeah, they'll have my money first.
Yeah, I mean, they. I will. There's only 2 games that would really sell me on PlayStation before Xbox, and one's Horizon, one's God of War. And
I agree.
So I mean, those are the only games those are the only 2 reasons why I still have a PlayStation right now, because I do want to do something with God of War, and then I do want to finish the Frozen Wilds DLC at some point. But
it is. But I for Xbox to get my money, which I mean at this point there's not much because they're gonna have everything on my Xbox One X and on my PC, so I can't wait. So when we start to get games that are like if you want the true if they give me the load times, which I'm really hoping for, like no load times, I'll probably scoop one up. But games wise, it's gotta be for PlayStation first.
I mean, for me, like, also Halo Infinite is, if that's your big selling point, really, at launch, unless you're, like, a diehard Xbox fan that needs it, right? Like, you're going to be playing that on Xbox One X anyway. And
my iPad, it's going to be great.
Yeah. Well, see,
by then, maybe I'll get that email that says I can play it on my phone.
The only thing, though, that I think it's going to be, that's going to make the difference, and even though it's technically gonna be the same game, you're still gonna want to play it on the newer console. I think it's gonna be similar to like what they did with, like a couple of games over the past quite a few years, like in the beginning of the beginning of Xbox One, is they still made certain games on the 360, but it lacked certain certain things, like there like certain game types or whatever that you could only do on the newer console because the mechanics and the things used in that game type like couldn't be handled with the old hardware. Like I could see them doing that, like where you'd still technically be able to play like the main part of a game. Like if, let's say, a new Titanfall, or whatever, like Titanfall on the new one would have certain things, but you wouldn't have them on the old one or whatever. But I don't know. That's the thing is we gotta.
I would hope that what they've been saying, they're not going to be like, yeah, well, you can play these parts of the game, but not this part of the game. Mm-hmm. From what they've been telling us, it's hopefully no, you can play the same game on your Xbox One X, except it's not going to be
third party.
Run as fast, but I think I can see that third party stuff too. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's more of a third party thing because I think Xbox or Microsoft or whatever is going to want to give you the best experience on both consoles, no matter what you're playing on, because that, that's basically been their motto for a while now, is they want to give you games that push the console to its best, but it still runs well, and and you get the best out of the hardware that you're using. That's the thing is, I mean, we can sit here and speculate all we want, but until it actually happens, we really don't know what.
We're about to hit March, and so we're going to know everything pretty soon.
Yeah. Time will tell, but
because they have that thing that's happening in April.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
April 6th is, I think, basically probably when they're going to start telling us more.
Yeah, that's the all but confirmed rumor, right? Like, wasn't it posted and then they took it down
at E3? So yeah.
So
it's official. Like they officially said that March 6th they're having a thing where they're talking about stuff.
Yeah,
like Xbox is.
Yeah, it was that post on their website and their tweet, but they were both removed because it wasn't supposed to go out yet. So
yep.
It
was like, hey, whoops.
Yeah, the thing that'll get me to buy a Series X though also is like how good Hellblade 2 looks.
This is true. So prerequisites for getting an Xbox Series X for me is a 4K monitor. I need a 4K monitor in my office. Like I have 4K TVs everywhere, but I'm not gonna use it on my TV. Like that's not gonna happen. So I need a 4K monitor, and so after I get my 4K monitor, then I'll buy a Series X.
And that's the boat I'm in right now too. Is I want to get a 4K. I don't care about having 4K on my TVs because what I have, the 1080p for watching movies, perfectly fine. Blu-rays, perfectly fine. I don't need better than that.
I'm looking at
playing games.
32-inch, 32-inch LED 4K UHD FreeSync monitor is still $350.
I looked at one today at Best Buy, and it was $299.
Oh wait! So there's a chance, boys. We could be getting it sooner rather than later.
Oh boy. Well, we don't have any questions, but
I did want to just mention about the whole State of Decay 2 stuff though, because you didn't put that in there.
Tell me about it. What's happening with State of Decay 2? I didn't see anything.
Yeah, so State of Decay 2 has gotten a major overhaul. Like they updated graphics, they like actually improved graphics in it and stuff. They improved combat. They improved a whole bunch of mechanics. Yeah, like they did like a massive overhaul. I don't know if it's rolled. Yeah, I don't know if it's rolled out completely yet, but because I can't remember, because there's the Juggernaut edition or something like that. I think it comes out next in March. I think they will roll out the full upgrade stuff, and it's all a free upgrade. You don't have to pay for it. So they just like reworked a whole bunch of the stuff in the game to improve and make changes, and like what people have kind of been asking for changes, and they've just basically been listening to what people have been wanting. Because I was kind of the same way. I'll be honest. I preferred the first game a lot more than the second one for whatever reason. I think it was like for whatever reason, the traveling around in the second one, like there wasn't as much, like it wasn't as worth like looking around and like going on like long hikes, far from where you have your base. I think because you kind of like the way it's set up, if you have to go back and forth quite a bit more because of like the constantly having to like keep levels of things up. I don't know, something about the first one was a little different enough that I would have fun just going on long journeys, like looking all over the map, and then like find these like big chests just out in the middle of a cornfield somewhere full of military weapons.
I mean, so I like the State of Decay 2, just I need the people to play with. To play with. So this is good news. I'm more likely to go back and give it a shot.
Yeah, I do want to go back to it. Yeah, that's the thing is, like, I mean, we played it a little bit, like me and Corey, and I think Ed played with us once, didn't he? Or
yeah,
I forget. Or no, it was your cousin, wasn't it?
Who played with us?
I think it was me, you, and your cousin for sure.
Was it me?
No, Ray, you are my cousin.
Or your brother, or was it your brother-in-law?
I don't remember, honestly. It might have been my cousin. Yeah, I think it was the 3 or 4 of us or something.
Okay.
So, but I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really care for State of Decay, but that's just me. Well, not that it was a bad game; it's just not the type of game I want to be playing.
Yeah,
I understand that. I get that.
Yeah, for me, I just like, honestly, if they would have a mode where you could just like not worry about the like constantly having to bring food back, all that kind of stuff, and like like, can I just like crack down and say, hey, no one here uses ammo but me?
Oh, jeez.
because why do all that? Because like all that stuff will just like start being used up, and it says it's being used up, and it's like, what are they using it for? Like it's just an artificial like decretion in numbers that doesn't have any real like real world meaning, and it's just kind of like I wish they would just, and who knows, maybe that's one of the things that they may have reworked is the whole like that survival aspect of it, but I just didn't really care for that part, where I just felt like you were never could be in a good spot, like with where you didn't you could just like worry about venturing out and finding other things and not having to worry about keep on bringing rucksacks back of like bullets or food or like things like that. I don't know. It felt like that you were always chasing that and never really, I felt like a lot of times I never could just really enjoy like searching like far away on the map, because I always was running low of something. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just not a fan of survival games.
I'm with you on that. It's got to be a very specific type of survival game, and that ain't it.
I kind of wish State of Decay was more like, I don't know. I want to say Left 4 Dead, but that's not really what I want it to be like. I want it to be more like you kind of like, you and your squad kind of build up a base, and you go out and collect things for you and your squad, and not
the forest.
The what?
The forest.
Sure. Yeah, the forest.
I want it to be like a multiplayer version of Dead Rising.
But I mean,
so the forest.
Look
up the forest.
But you know what I mean, right? Where like you just go out and like, okay, well we have this many. It's almost like a real like a RTS / shooter game. So
almost see what you're saying. Yeah.
You're going out and harvesting materials to go, okay, well we have our base here. We need to build this many resources for like a hospital base so we can upgrade our medical equipment, and then go out and search for stuff, right? And you're kind of building up this base almost like a tower defense / let's go on adventures and murder zombie stuff.
Yeah, what they initially told us, what we thought the Division was going to be at first. Yeah.
Well, you know.
All right. Nobody remembers that. I remember that. They debated me twice. First with Watch Dogs, and then with the Division. Nothing like what they were supposed to be.
By the way, Watch Dogs 2 is on sale for the gold edition for $12.
I like that game. It's just it's way past time now.
It's on my list. The games to play.
I mean, yeah, play it. It's just I feel like that one for me was time and place. I loved it at the time, but I could not play that game now.
Oh man. I wish I had more time. More time. There's no time.
You'll get more time when your child is an adult.
Yeah, well, wait till my wife's already talking about having a second one, so you know.
or like me, or you do like me. Once she's old enough to be playing games, you make sure you have another console she can play on, so then you can do your thing on yours.
We'll be on Arsenal X 1000.
Switch the lights for everybody.
Switch 4.
Oh my god.
No, I think it was Giant Bomb or someone made the joke, and I wish they would do it. The next Switch is just called Switch U.
No, pass.
Do it.
Nintendo, if you had the
on that
guts to do that, I'd buy it.
On that note, remember you can email us questions if you have one at arsenalxpodcast@gmail.com, or look for our social media threads at boss_rush_games, which should probably be changed because that's too many underscores, but
a lot of underscores.
Until then, to be fair. I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening to Arsenal X Podcast, the Xbox podcast. Remember, you can find it on your podcast feed every Wednesday, or join us live on Sunday nights on Boss Rush Games Live on Twitch and Mixer. You can also join our community, join our Discord, join our Xbox community, and our Destiny clan, all that good stuff. Ray, where can we find you?
You can find me at Ray Apollo everywhere on the internet. That's RAYAPOLLO, no space, or else you get a creepy clown. I'm just a creepy clown that plays video games, so don't do that. Yep.
Jesse, where can we find you?
You can find me everywhere as Phantom NXS.
Nice. And you can find me everywhere on social media at I am CorianHD, and you can find me on Mixer and Twitch at CorianHD. You can also download our family of shows, Nintendo Power Block, Boss Rush Podcast, Standard Definition, 1v1, and check out our YouTube page. I want to thank everybody so much for watching, and until next time, we're going to throw up the X, because we're exiting out of here.
What's the matter, you hurt? Hey, bro.